Hi, Zoe Buckley here from Learning Boosters, and welcome to this brand new course to help your child to learn to spell better. This is the Spelling Boosters Improve Your Spelling in 21 Days course. And I would really like to welcome you and say how excited I am that you are both here. And by both, I mean parents and child. Now, you can use this course with more than one child if you feel the need to. So first, I'd like to give you a little bit of history on learning to spell. There are actually 46 different sounds in the English language. Yep, 46. That is why English is so hard to learn how to spell, because we have words that sound the same that are spelt differently, such as to, and two, there and there. Just a couple of examples. Now, I know that your child will be able to improve their spelling in this 21 days because I am assuming that your child speaks and speaks well. If they speak well, and they will therefore know those 46 sounds, they will be able to develop spelling. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is bear with me for a second because I'm just going to share my screen with you, because what this video is all about is to actually help you to help your child. So you can see I'm up in the corner there, so you can still see me, but I'm going to run through the course with you today. So this is how the course as you will see it. So the first page talks about learning boosters, and in this series of courses that I will be doing, because there are other ones I'm going to be putting in this actual program, it's all about helping children to be happier, more empowered and confident. It's about helping them to learn how to be persistent so that when they don't get it right the first time, try again. Okay, so let's go on with the course. Also wanted to let you know just quickly that I'm a #1 best-selling author of Learning Boosters for Children with Learning Difficulties. That is also a resource that you may want to have a look at. You can have a look at that through Amazon or through my website, www.zoebuckley.com. You can grab it there also. So let's have a look at this course. So this section is all about you guys, the parents. What I'm wanting to do is to run through the course with you, to explain everything to you, to give you that helping hand yourself so that you can help your child. So of course, hello and welcome. And I'm so happy and excited that you're actually here. In this course, your child will overcome the anxiety and fear they have of spelling and writing, and they will gain confidence in spelling sounds and clusters and how to write them. By the end of the program, you, as a parent, will know where your child's weaknesses are and how to help them overcome these issues. So please take some time to have a little look at this course outline that I'm running through with you now. Okay, so first up, you'll notice that each week is set out for you and your child to follow really, really easily. Each week includes a spelling words practice page. You'll need to print off 3 of these. This is one for each day for your child to practice their words for the week. There's also a word search, a crossword puzzle, and an unscramble the words for each week. There's also a full spelling list of the words, all of the words from the whole of the 3 weeks. These pages will need to be printed off. Now, in consultation with your child, you will need to set up 3 10-minute sessions for each of the 3 weeks. That's right, only 10 minutes. They will not need any longer than that. These 10-minute sessions, 3 of them, are to help your child to practice the weekly words. And there will also be one other 10-minute session. At the end of the week, there will be a review spelling test. All will become a little bit clearer as we go through this. After each practice session, you'll need to check your child's work. Okay? Please, let's not use crosses. I've never used crosses, red crosses, in my teaching career because it's like a stop. It's like the child instantly knows I've got it wrong and why should they try again? What I actually use is draw a little pair of glasses or a smiley face, because that tells the child that they've tried, that it's not correct, but that they have tried and to try again. A cross just puts up one of those barriers. You know, it's like saying no to somebody. And of course, use ticks for the ones they got right. So each week, as I've said, includes a spelling words practice page, and then you choose, or your child gets to choose, one other thing to do in their 10-minute session, which is either the word search, the crossword puzzle, or the unscramble the words. Now, those have been put in order of difficulty. So the word search is the easier one for your child to do. The crossword puzzle is the in-between one. And then the unscramble your words is the hardest one that they can do. And again, when we get to those pages, I will go through them with you. Now, the extra 1 10-minute session, so there are 4 sessions during the week, is the last session of that week to do the review spelling test, as I said. After each practice session, you'll need to check your child's work. So do the smiley face or the glasses and the tick. And after each review activity test, you'll need to mark their work. Now, whatever words your child has got incorrectly spelled will need to be reviewed. So even you could even use these misspelled words as a week 1A, where they will go over the ones that they haven't done quite so well or haven't quite got correct till they've mastered them. Okay? So on this following page is the first part of, or first module, I should say, of this program. This is the diagnostic test. Now, it's not hard, it's just a review sounds test. And let's run through it. So I've called it a clusters review test. Now, clusters are the sounds that come together when you have more than one letter, like ch, so CH for ch, th, TH. They are what we call cluster sounds. Step 1, you'll notice this English test. It's a fun activity to check that your child knows the long and short sound for each letter. So that is each letter of the alphabet. So there's a long and short sound, as I've just said, for each letter of the alphabet. A, B, B, C, K, and so on. Get your child to verbally tell you the 2 sounds for each letter. So you might give them an example first. You might say, okay, A has a long sound and a short sound. A. And then on the end of this actual module, you'll notice a page that has the alphabet on it. You can print that off and then point to the letters. Point to the letters in actual order first. And then if they have made a mistake, go back. So they might have made a mistake for G, for instance, G, G, and then they might have made a mistake for X, X. So you can repoint to those letters just to recheck that they know the 2 sounds for each letter of the alphabet. So the long and the short sound. That's the first part of this review test. Okay? It's really important that they know both the long and short sounds for each letter. That might be one session that you do one part of the week, okay? And then later in the week, you do this second step. Or you can do both steps together. It'll probably take 10 to 15 minutes to do the whole thing. Okay, so step 2. Step 2, you'll be checking to see how many cluster sounds your child knows and where the gaps are and how we can help them. Okay, so you're going to need 10 to 15 minutes to do the test and uninterrupted. I know it's tough when you've got other kids around and all that sort of thing. But try and grab 10 to 15 minutes where it's really quiet and you and your child can be together to work on this together, to concentrate on it. You'll also need a pen and paper. Alternatively, you can do this on computer. It's really up to you as the parent and also how your child learns. If your child is a tactile learner, So if they have to do to actually understand, then I would suggest pen and paper. If they're a visual learner, computer is fine. If they have a difficulty holding a pen, and I do have a couple of students with that difficulty, I would suggest that you use the computer. So please read out the following clusters. You may need to read it to them 2 or 3 times so that they are actually with you in the space. Sometimes kids go, what was that? Well, they vague out. We all do it. So please read out the following clusters. You need to read them out maybe 2 or 3 times. Please get your child to verbalise them first out loud to you before they do any writing. So for instance, you might say ed, and they will repeat it to you, ed, and then they will write it or type it on the computer. Please don't correct your child at the time they are doing this test. Just let them write what they think is correct, okay? And then go back and use the ticks and the little smiley face or the glasses, all right? So don't correct them at the time. I know that's a tough thing to do. You want to jump in immediately and help them. I get it. I've got kids too. I understand. So that's the first part for if your child is in grade 1 or below. The next part is for those children that are in grade 2 to 6. These are the harder cluster sounds. Now, please note that these are not all cluster sounds that you will find, but they are the ones that I've been finding that are coming through, kids that are coming through my practice, that they're having the most difficulty with. So grade 2 to 6, this next set of clusters are for them, as well as the first 2 parts we've just done. So for instance, we've got shr as in shrink, gl as in glass, sn as in snail, and so on. They are obviously beginning clusters. Ending clusters are there as well. There's a couple of easy ones like ing, but there's the harder ones like ought and ick, and shon and shon, the 2 different shons there, and ite as in light. Then you've got some beginning clusters, pre. Most kids know app, fancy that. And that's a really easy one for them. So I have put in a couple of ones that are really easy for the kids to pick up on. And str as in straight, and split as in splash, those sorts of things. Then we have one of the hardest clusters to learn, which is the vowel clusters. So you've got A as in paid, O as in boat, or as in saw, and air as in chair. Again, just very few. We're not going comprehensively into every single cluster sound. I don't want to overload you or your child. I want your child to have a quick win and feel really good about spelling, and then they can go on to the next step. So when the test is completed, you'll need to mark it, as I said before, to see where the gaps are for your child. If your child has more than 3 mistakes, then there is gaps happening, okay? So now let's go through the weekly process. So week 1, and the process is the same for all 3 weeks. Week 1, with your child, you've chosen those 3 10-minute sessions to practice these first 11 words. Now, you might think 11 words is a lot in a week. No, actually it's not. And you'll notice that as we go on through this, I increase it by 1 word. A maximum of 12 words a week is not too much for a child to be learning. So for example, your 3 10-minute sessions might be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with the 1 10-minute session to do the test activity on a Sunday or a Saturday. During this time, your child will need to read each word to you, write each word at least 3 times, and choose either the word search, the crossword, or the unscrambles word exercise to do. So in 1 session, they're going to be reading the words, the spelling words to you, practicing the spelling words, so they'll be writing it at least 3 times, and choosing either the word search, the crossword, or the unscramble, not all 3 altogether. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step, I'd start to run through this with you. You will note there are 9 what I call regulation words and 2 mega words. The mega words are the harder words. Okay, so that's for week 1. For week 2 and 3, there are 12 words. So there will be 10 regulation words and 2 mega words. Or it might actually be 9 regulation words and 3 mega words, I think. Okay. So in the practice pages, there is room for your child to practice writing and saying each word. In the last session, so this is the session of the week, there is the test activity. With your child, once again, decide if you would like your child to do the test activity on the computer or written by hand. Again, if they have a disability with their hands and they're not able to write, please do it on the computer. My advice, as I've said before, is that writing by hand is the best way of learning. It gets retained for longer. Particularly, as I said before, if your child is a tactile learner, so they need to do to understand. If they're a visual learner, again, the computer is fine. So in gold here, I've written print off for each week 3 copies of the practice page, and we're about to have a look at that. 1 copy of each of the word search, crossword, and unscramble words, and print off the review test activity. So let's get into the activities. Have a look at those. So this is the practice page for week 1. These are going to be all the words just for week 1. You'll notice that I've left some space there for the child to write, for your child to write in. So there are 9 words and there are 2 mega words. Okay, so 9 different words, 2 mega words. You will notice that there are some clusters on there that we didn't review. Okay, there's a reason for that, which I'll get to later. Then we have our word search. So our word search is the easiest thing for your child to do, and you'll notice that I've actually put the words in the bottom here as well, so they can look at them as they're trying to find them. So that's the easiest one to do. Here's the crossword puzzle with the word bank down the bottom and the questions. Something someone thinks or feels about. Something someone thinks or feels about. So you find the word that actually fits in, and then you go to number 1 in the crossword and write it in there. Okay, and you can print these off. Then we have the unscramble these words. Now this is the hardest of the 3 to do. You will notice I have not put a word bank there. Okay, I would actually do this one in the 3rd session of the week. All right, so the first word, of course, is reply, second is music, and towards and try, and so on. What I'm getting the child to do here is to remember the letters that go together to spell that word. Again, it's reinforcing what they've already done. So there is a real reason as to why there is no word bank. Needs to be done, if possible, without the word bank. If they're getting too stressed about it, then give them the word bank so they can look. If they're a visual learner, give them the word bank so they can look. It's not all set in concrete. Sometimes we need to adapt things for the child and how they learn. That's week 1. Then we have our review test. So below is a box with your 11 spelling words in it. And decide with mum or dad if you're going to handwrite these or use a computer to type the 11 words. Now, I have, again as a reinforcement, asked that they not only type the word or write the word, but that they do a series of things. So type or write your name at the top of the page. Use each word in a complete sentence. So they're not only getting how to spell the word, but the context the word goes in. All right? Each sentence needs to have at least 6 words in it. Okay, so if they can, 6 words at least to each sentence, using the spelling word as well, of course. Number the sentences 1 to 11. Underline the spelling word in each sentence. Get them to proofread their work and check that the spelling words are correct. This is really, really important that they learn to proofread their own words, okay? Because sometimes we can write things and we can be wanting to do things really quickly and in such a rush, and then we go back and we look at things and we think, oh, that's not right. Oh, I've missed a word there. So when they're happy with their work, they then give it to you so that you can tick and smiley face or glasses. If there's something that you find that is incorrect with your smiley face or glasses, please do not give them the correct answer straight away. Get them to go back, have a look at it themselves, say to them, that was a great try, let's try that again. Where in here, we're getting them to do editing now, so we're getting them to actually proofread their work again. Where in this particular sentence do we need to have a look at? Be careful at your wording that you use. Try not to say, oh, there's something wrong in here. You better look and see what's wrong. Try and be careful about the actual wording that you use if you can. If they're really stumbling over a particular word or words, then don't go on to the second module, the second week. Get them to repeat those words during the next week. When you're sure they know all 11 words really, really well, then we go on to the second week. Again, it's the same format as the first week, a practice page with all of the 11 words. 12 words in this case. There are 9 general words and 3 mega words. Then they have a word search, crossword, unscramble these words, again in order of difficulty. They don't need to know that, but you do as the parent working with them. Then again, you have the review activity test. So again, get them to read the words to you, get them to type their name or write their name at the top of the page, each one in a complete sentence, at least 6 words in each sentence, and underline the spelling word, get them to proofread it. That's the second week. Again, don't move on to the third week until they know all 12 words really well. Okay, if they're a slow learner, then we need to adapt to how they learn. So it may take them a little bit longer, and that's okay. Doesn't have to be done and completed in 3 weeks, in 21 days. Here is week 3. So these are 9 general words, 3 mega words. Again, it's word search, crossword, and unscramble these words. Order of difficulty again. Then, when everything's done and dusted, they know all those words really, really, really well, and you're happy with their progress as well, and you've done the review test for the 3rd week. There's this full spelling list, I have printed off a couple of things as a reward for them for their hard work. So this first page, you did it, woohoo, is for them to colour in, print off, colour in, laminate if they want to, pop it on their wall. This page is Words Wizard. So print this off, please, pop their name in there. You can actually click in there and put their name in there and give them the reward so that they can pop that up on their wall as well, and they feel really good about what they've just done and what they've just completed. I hope that has really helped you. It does seem rather long-winded and rather a lot to do, but when you get into the flow of it, it's not. Please remember, I am here to help. So if you are getting frustrated with this process yourself, or your child doesn't work particularly well with you, please call me. I have a free 15-minute consultation, and we can book your child in for a session with me. I do sessions on Zoom, so we don't have to be in the same place, and I also do tutoring sessions from my home. Please contact me. I really want you and your child to get the most and the best out of this program. So please feel free to contact me, and you can contact me. You probably would have noticed on every page is my website. So zoebuckley.com, pop that in Google, up will come my website. Just send me an email through contacts. I also have a Facebook page, Learning Connections Tutorial, a little bit different to the Learning Boosters. Learning Connections Tutorial as a Facebook page. Please, you can PM me through that as well. I know that this is going to be fun, that you and your child will have fun doing this program, and I know that you'll get lots of success, and I wish you all the best with it, and I really hope that your child will be happy with what they are achieving. So thank you so much for actually sharing and being part of this program, and I will catch up with you next time. Bye for now.